Good morning, Carmine George, back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day from 1982. 1982 Topps in action. Now, you can't really say Mike's in action in this pose, but at least it's a game taken photo, and he's certainly ready to move in action if the ball is hit his way. Just give some highlights about his career, his postseason career and whatnot. But I always love the inactions because 9 times out of 10, the inaction photo rarely has the people actually in action. So then that's a good example of it right there, to be quite honest with you. So anyway, today's random baseball item of the day from 2000 Fleer. So 2000, the Fleer Tradition Update Set. This is a highlight subset or inset set. It's actually part of the second set of cards, U number 7. If you look, what it says is Brett Maine, the first catcher. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that. The first catcher to earn a pitching win ever in August 21st of 2000. And here's the bio. Essentially, somebody needed to pitch, and here he was. He said he had Maine, who had never pitched in his life, so he got Chipper Jones to hit an inning ground ball with men on base. Interesting. Brett Maine, first catcher to win a pitching, to earn a pitching win. How many of you even knew that? I certainly didn't. Pitching for the Rockies, no less. That's just insane. But congrats to Brett Maine. A really cool little random baseball card. Figured I'd show that off to you. Today's trivia question. 1950, Jim Constanti, pitching for the Phillies. As a relief pitcher, he was a guy who came out of the bullpen a whole bunch, had several key victories for us pitching in relief, and his contributions to the Phillies pennant were so impressive that he was named the most valuable player for 1950 in the National League, the first ever relief pitcher to be named the MVP. Now, this happened in the National League. My question to you is, who was the first pitcher, primarily known as a relief pitcher, to win an MVP award for the American League? That is your question. All you need to do, if you're interested in getting that card, is shoot me an email with a guess. What you're playing for is the 1983 Donruss All-Stars Eddie Murray, Hall of Famer Eddie Murray, Eddie Clarence Murray, in case you're wondering. Notice it's not Edward. That's an interesting little tidbit there. But Eddie Murray, 1983 Donruss All-Stars card. So if you're interested in getting that, like I said, shoot me an email with a guess to the trivia question. I'll include a repeat of that question in the description below, along with my email. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. Today, once again, going through 10 interesting cards of a particular set, this time featuring 1982 Donruss. I'll tell you, the card companies weren't messing around in the 80s because it's hard. It really was hard to find a lot of interesting cards, but I did my best. Start off with 2 cards that are similar. Game taken photos, but I don't understand the context. They kind of look very similar. So, 2 first basemen standing there, glove up, palm up, and Piro's, there's a guy with his foot, looks like a Met because it's blue and orange. Guy with his foot touching the bag, so perhaps the pitcher is about to throw over. But usually you're not with the palm up and the glove up. You're reaching out with the glove palm down to get the ball. This one makes even less sense. Randy Bass, just standing there I've never seen somebody in a set position with arms extended like that. They usually got their hands on their knees, or they're just, I don't know, maybe they do have it palms up. I don't know. I don't recall seeing it. It's just an odd pose. These two are so similar. They just put them out. That is card number one, so to speak. This one, I don't think I've ever seen a person caught in this action on a baseball card before. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let me know if you can recall one. I've never seen a baseball player on a baseball card where what he's doing is simply taking off his batting glove. You know, there's no bat, no glove. I imagine he got a walk and he's still standing in the box. He had dropped bat and he's taken off his batting glove or something. I don't know. But I noticed that in the picture, and I'm thinking I've never seen somebody taking a photo of, and what he was doing was removing his batting glove. Rob Wilfong. Gene Richards, real quick statement about why this is interesting. He almost got caught giving the boys a scratch. Just saying. This one, I thought by the 80s they had gotten out of the concept of doing the airbrush logos when a person traded teams. How many times do we see really bad airbrush or logos where they switched up the team? A lot of times they would just do a hatless guy. But in this one, for Jeff Reardon, the guys from Donruss decided to just airbrush that logo completely out of there. Yep, no logo, no nothing. So he got traded to the Expos late in the season from the Mets, I believe. Let's see on the back again. Yep, from the Mets. Jeff Reardon got traded to the Expos, and they just flat out airbrushed out the Mets completely. That is just all kinds of wrong right there, man. All kinds of wrong. Famous Joe Charnabo. He had a Rookie of the Year kind of campaign in 1980. Now, there's nothing particularly interesting about the card. Joe looks half stoned, but so be it. So I started reading on the back, and so this is 1982 tops. In 81, he had a huge decrease in everything across the board. He batted .210, spent a lot of time in the minors. So here it is. It's the description that got me. What they're saying about him. So he had a bitter and unexpected come down last year from his Rookie of the Year season. Let me get that, see if I can get that in there. Never could get his bat untracked. That doesn't make any sense. Untracked. And was sent back to the minors in Charleston in August. And then what it says, it goes on to rave about his 1980 season 2 years ago, which is probably what they did on the 1981 card to begin with. But here is the 1982 card. They got nothing better to say than to talk about his 1980 season again. So it says, had a spectacular 80 season when he became the third Indian in history to win Rookie of the Year honors, led the Indians in home runs and RBIs in 80 despite missing the last 3 weeks of the season because of a groin injury. Hit .352 at Chattanooga in 1979 with 21 homers and 78 RBIs in 109 games. So his career highlight, again, was what happened back in the day. That was it. Although what I also found interesting, and I did not know, is that the Indians obtained Joe Charnabo back in 1978 from the Phillies for pitcher Cardell Camper. Now, interestingly, I didn't know the Phillies had Joe Charnabo. Thank God they got rid of him. But interestingly, too, I never heard of Cardell Camper. So apparently they got, they traded one pathetic rookie for another. I just thought that was interesting when I was reading the back. But the back of Joe Charnabo's card is very interesting to me. This one I love. I love me a Kent Tekulve sidearm card. I really do. I love looking at submarine pitchers, especially when they're winding up like that, when they're following through. Love, love, love it. Love the really deep stirrups with he's got those stirrups so tight there's a gap between the sock and the stirrup. But what caught me on this one is take a look at his grip. I swear he's got that ball by 2 fingers. He's got that with his index finger and his thumb. That's all he's holding it with. And then the knuckles are alongside, about to impart the spin on whatever pitch he's throwing. I'm not sure if that's typical for pitchers to just hold the ball with the thumb and 1 finger, that being the index finger. Don't know. That one caught my eye, being fantastic. 1982 Topps Kentucky. 1982 Donruss, excuse me. 1982 Donruss Dale Berra. The reason I love the Dale Berra card is the Pirates back in the 80s, 70s into the early 80s had these great piped hats, and they would put stars. You'd earn a star, I guess, for doing something good. And darn it if Dale Berra doesn't have at least 1 star. Kudos to Dale. I've seen, Stargell Parker having, dozens of stars. But hey, Dale, congrats to you, sir. You got 1. Good for you. This one made me smile. Bill the Spaceman Lee, 1982 Donruss. And I'm looking at the glove. He's holding this glove, and it says Montañez. And I had to double check, and sure enough, he's wearing a glove that says Montañez. And I looked, and in 1981, clearly this picture would have been taken in 1981, the Expos had Willie Montañez on the team. So Bill, probably getting asked to pose for a photo, just grabbed whatever glove he could find lying around. He's posing there as if he's a lefty too, because he's got the glove on his right hand. And if we look on here, is he a lefty? Yes, he is a lefty. That explains more why he's the spaceman, I just thought it was interesting. He's wearing somebody else's glove for that picture. 1982 Topps Brian Asseltine. What caught me on this one was this little green piece of tape or something. I got no idea what this was, and I thought maybe it was a blemish on this card and this card alone, but nope. You go on to the databases. This is the way the card was issued. I have no idea what that little piece of green tape is there for, whether it was a way for him to identify his helmet, whether it was a repair job, but they just put a little piece of tape there to do something. There's no explanation I can fathom as to why a little piece of green tape is on his helmet. But that was true to the picture. That's the way the picture is. Just a unique little thing that caught my eye. Lastly, if you want to have a great thing, Billy Martin manager card. If you're going to have a Billy Martin manager card, a lot of manager cards in these sets are just the portrait photos of the manager's faces. But if you're going to have Billy, you want Billy arguing with an umpire. Thank God Donruss got a good picture here of Billy Martin going toe-to-toe with one of the umpires. Who knows what he's complaining about? Billy would complain about anything if it suited him. But they got that on the 1982 Donruss card. Thank God for that. Billy Martin manager card, arguing with an umpire. Life as it should be in the major leagues, right? So there you have it. 10 interesting cards from 1982 Topps. As always, I would love to hear from you all. If you're aware of another interesting card from 1982 Topps, or anything else interesting about the 1982 Topps set. I didn't bother showing the chicken card. Topps put the chicken in most of their sets from the 80s. Put a chicken card in there. I didn't bother to show that off. It certainly is interesting, but I just didn't feel like putting it in there, concentrating more on the cards of the players and things like that. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I would love to hear from you. We have one more on Friday, so come back for that. One more showcase of a great set and 10 cards from that set that I find interesting. Of course, we will also have the trivia and a prize to give away. So come back for that, and then come back again on Sunday for the trivia recap, all right? Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week. So take care.